Yesterday was the first episode of Dana White's Contender Series, and I just wanted to recap. 4 contracts were given out, 3 fights ended in a finish, and one fighter in particular seems to have star power, and I can't wait for his next UFC fight. To start off, John Kunneman versus Joe Cropshot. Kunneman looks like a buff Habib. I thought he was Russian, but dude from Colorado. He's a younger fighter at 27, and he got his O taken by Joe Cropshot. The majority of Kunneman's wins are first round finishes, so he seems to be a fast starter who puts everything out there. And this ended up working against him because he tired himself out against Cropshot. Cropshot was just picking him apart. It wasn't domination because Kunneman definitely looked like a threat, but I had Cropshot winning all 3 rounds. The fight almost ended because Cropshot caught him an insane armbar and he didn't tap. It looked broken, and Dana confirmed it in the press conference. Cropshot is talented. I'm going to make sure to keep an eye out for him. It was really fun to watch. He's really good at mixing up his strikes, and he should have got the finish. Next is Thomas Pagliarulo versus Anyas Malumba. This is Malumba's second time on the Contender Series. The first time he was against Marwan Rahiki, who is fighting at UFC Noche, and he almost finished Rahiki. He caught him early and, tried to force the finish, and unfortunately, Rahiki recovered and was able to get his own finish. But, this fight started off crazy. They dropped each other right off the bat, but Malumba's fighting style, relies on that explosive power, and he has to blitz in, and if the opponent could weather it, it's pretty bad news for him. That's exactly what happened in the Rahiki fight. And Pagliarulo just picked him apart and was able to finish him in the third. The third round is what made Pagliarulo look really good. He was able to flatten out Malumba and get the finish. Bilal Hassan versus Mrdal Seika. The other guy doesn't matter because Hassan, aka the Indo Ninja, made quick work of him. He was a crazy favorite, a 5,000 favorite. Like, at that point, you have to put some money towards the underdog because it's just not worth betting on the favorite. But, just his name, the Indo Ninja, his fighting style, he hit the moonwalk afterwards, shows me that he definitely has that star factor where he's going to be exciting to watch in the UFC. He is a flyweight, and flyweights and bantamweights are my favorite fighters to watch because they're just so quick. And this dude is really quick. He did lose some aura points for calling Dana daddy.
Daddy Dana doesn't like to go to Hawaii, but
I'm not sure what that's about. Like, a lot of people call him uncle, like Uncle Dana. That's already cringy. I think Cejudo started that. I don't know. Still excited about him. And he's still really fresh, so we might see him pretty soon. Next was Fabrizio Escarega versus Abe Alzagir. Probably the worst fight on the card. It was competitive, but not because they were just so good and they were like canceling each other out. It's just because neither of them really stood out, especially after all the fights we just saw. Fabrizio was winning the exchanges on the feet, and what Abe would do would just shoot a takedown. He would get stuffed and just hold Fabrizio against the fence. He must have shot like 15 takedown attempts this whole fight. And at one point, Fabrizio looked at the ref to get the ref to get Abe off of him. And that's when I knew that neither of these guys were getting a contract, because the fights before this were pretty exciting. And here you are just like being held against the fence and looking at the ref. Like, you should be fighting to get out of that position. The expectations for the Contender Series is really high. They want exciting fighters. So it's little stuff like that is like, you might win the fight, but you're not going to get the contract. The worst of it is that the wrong guy got their hand raised. Abe was declared the winner by split decision. I had Fabrizio winning all 3 rounds. Again, not because he dominated, just because the other guy was just significantly worse. The 2 judges had Abe winning. I guess they really value takedown attempts because I don't know what else they saw. I mean, they were probably distracted by Red De La Cruz. She looked really good. Anyways, the last fight was Anthony Wint versus Matt Adams, and Wint looks insane. Wint looks like a WWE freaking superstar. Massive amounts of muscle on his frame. He is a shorter heavyweight at 6 feet, and we didn't see much of him because he made quick work of Adams. He got inside trip and took his back and just pummeled him and got the finish. Now for the contract offers, every winner got a contract except for one. Surprise, surprise, Abe didn't get a contract. Everyone looked pretty nervous except for Hassan, who was just smiling on his phone. He was probably watching his highlight. It was pretty much guaranteed he was going to get a contract. He was a 5,000 favorite. He made quick work of his opponent. A kind of awkward moment is when Dana went in on Abe. Like, he scolded him like a teacher scolds a student. Dana said that basically Abe is just not that guy. He did not have what he's looking for. And he said that he did not agree with the judges, that he doesn't know what the judges were looking at, which, I agree. You don't want to reward that kind of performance on the Contender Series. You don't want people coming in thinking that a win is going to get them a contract. So I completely agree with this. But overall, the Indo Ninja and Wint, I'm really excited for. And since they're both fresh, I hope that we could see them pretty soon. But that's pretty much it. Okay, peace.